Happiness through curiosity on TRS Clips. Do you think Instagram triggers too much, for lack of better words, horniness in people? I see that with a lot of guy friends of mine. You see something on Instagram and either they use porn or they use dating apps to cope.
I wouldn't know honestly because I don't know anyone who's using Instagram for that. To be very honest with you,
For what?
for to like just look at pictures of women or to like.
Welcome to the world of men.
I guess I would like to hope that not all men are basically just sitting and using their Instagram to like scam on chicks.
I do think that a lot of guys' Instagrams, not all, but a lot of guys' Instagrams are extremely sexual. Not all, but many, especially when you're younger and your testosterone is much higher, etc. I think Instagram is a fairly sexual place. Instagram is full of sexuality, dude.
I guess.
It's not the same for women?
I can't speak for women. Everyone's Instagram is different. My Instagram is like, it tells me food things, it tells me geopolitical things, it tells me movie things, it tells me like random gossip. And for whatever reason, I hear way too much about Taylor Swift and her dating life. But
Really?
that just seems to be the news cycle. So, yeah, my Instagram is, I don't think hypersexual, to be very honest, but that just might be a product of who I am because I'm not on Instagram for that.
I get what you're saying. My Instagram used to definitely be sexual in my mid 20s until I realized that why the is my Instagram so sexual? And I realized
Yeah,
that it's a very normal urban guy problem. I remember unfollowing a lot of accounts who had followed probably in my teenage, in my early 20s. And I remembered unfollowing a lot of content creators in general, dude. Or at least muting a lot of content creators because I was bored of their content. And my Instagram suddenly turned into a sports Instagram. So now I get a lot of cricket, football, basketball, MMA reels. I get a lot of motivational stuff. I get a lot of like productivity stuff. I remember there was this guy called Eric Jorgensen who had come on the show way back, like in 2020. He said that your Twitter can be a very big self-help tool, but you need to regularly follow and unfollow accounts to tell the algorithm what you want. So I used that on Twitter and then I actively started doing it on Instagram in 2020. So we were what, like 27 in 2020? Around that time, everything switched up. And now it's like, it's not really a sexual trigger anymore, but I see it being a sexual trigger for a lot of my friends.
your libido is more socially acceptable now.
Libido, yeah, true.
Which it wasn't, like when we were younger or whatever, like our generation still did whatever they wanted to do. But that being said, at a societal level, I don't think it was still like so okay, it was still like bacche shaadi karke sex kar lo, like it was still at that level. And people do what they want is a different thing, but like I just mean societally. I think now maybe like people don't care as much. It's not so much of a hot button issue, like whether people are having sex or not, which thank God. I mean, like, how is it anyone else's business what people are doing, behind closed doors? But yeah, I think it's just that. I think it's more socially acceptable. And this generation is also like, I think a lot more open about what they want than we ever were. And that's a great thing for them. Like, more power to them, like.
You're talking about Gen Zs.
Yeah. They're a lot more vocal and a lot more expressive about what they want than what we were. What I love about them is like some of the boundaries they set in a work environment that we were too chicken shit to do when like we were in those situations.
Like?
I think they're good at setting up boundaries and going like, these are the things that I will do and these are the things that I won't do, which can be a little bit of a double-edged sword because at the end of the day, you need experience to actually, get anywhere professionally. But I like the fact that they set boundaries and they know their worth and all of those things. I feel that our generation didn't really have at that stage.
Again, the flip side is when you see someone setting up boundaries like that, as the manager, as the boss, then you don't feel like giving the opportunity there as well.
Yeah.
You feel like giving the opportunity to a person who's willing to do anything.
Yeah, and so I understand from a manager perspective why that might be why that might be the way you want to go, but it's also not great from a work life perspective if you think of that person who you're hiring who's like saying that main kuch bhi karega, like on some level it's nice because they have that kind of drive, but on another level they are going to essentially trample over any other thing in their life to just do this job or whatever. And I'm saying that from a place of experience because I was one of those people where I went like, "मैं तो कुछ भी करेगा तू बोल," and like it completely wreaked havoc on
Yeah.
my personal life.
That is very luck dependent. If you had a very exploitative manager or an exploitative boss, then
Maybe. Maybe.
then it's a bad situation. But if you're in a good positive energy work environment, that kuch bhi karega mentality can really forward your career.
Yeah, but that switch hasn't happened here yet. It's no, the
fair.
majority of managers are still exploitative. The ones that like who see your kuch bhi karega and have enough integrity of their own to go like, okay, but I don't want to exploit you. I appreciate the fact that you show up and you do what's more than required, but here's the time that you need for yourself because you need to be a person. Those managers are very few and far in between, coupled with the fact that like our Indian luminaries also say things like, oh, people should work for 70-80 hours a week. Honestly, that kind of is, you're exploiting whatever youth we have, and I don't know what good that's going to do anyone to have like an entirely burnt out working class by the time everyone is 40.
So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to TRS Clips for more.